Hello everyone, and today we're going to be talking about a very important point. What are the best Pokemon to solo carry with in ranked? And to me, I'm going to drop you the 5 best Pokemon overall in the game to solo carry with in each role. So like just one for each. And as I said, because I believe in upfronting knowledge, if this is something that you're interested in, if you're interested to find out, how these Pokemon play, why they're good, and of course the Pokemon itself, please get your butts glued to the seat and make sure you get a glass of water or something to drink alongside and enjoy the video with me. And if not, that's okay. Leave a like, sub, and comment down below so we can know a good idea of what you want to see instead. All right, thanks guys. Now let's get right into it. This is going to be very, very spicy. We're going to start off with the top lane first. Now, when you're playing solo queue, you have to understand and remember that your teammates, they're not always going to be 100%. They're not going to always be there with you. So what is one of the best, just pure carries from the top lane? Now, if we're talking overall, we have to include Zacian right now. But we're not really, so I can't talk Zacian because EX is about to be banned and I'm just be confusing you. So what's my real, super hard, back against the wall, you need a win carry that isn't Zacian? Well, it's going to be Blastoise. I think in all the other videos I've made, I've talked a lot about Blastoise. This is by far one of the most broken Pokemon they've ever released. You have Hydro Spin, you have Rapid Spin. It's just like, you can run anything with this character. Both movesets work, both movesets are carry. But if you want to carry a bit harder, I recommend the Rapid Spin. I'm just going to go and show you a little bit about how it plays. And it's pretty simple, right? You go run Blastoise, you run to the top lane. If you have stacking specs, you score. If you don't, you go for the middle minion. After you score, you run back and do these 2 minions, and that's okay, you're S tier. And if you didn't go to score, you do this, you can go try to contest these 2, and then go here for the 920. And that's it, that's all you need to know on the lane. At that point, once you hit level 5, you take your next move. If you've taken Water Spout, you're going to be a bit weaker, but it's okay, it'll pay off, because when you get Rapid Spin, you become a big menace on the enemy team. The game plan's simple for Blastoise. You want to run into the middle of the map, find a big group of enemies, unite them, and then Rapid Spin all over them. If you don't have Rapid Spin, it's the same thing. Unite them, and then Surf and Hydro Pump them into the wall. Very good, very effective. High cost effectiveness, I'd say. It's one of the cheapest Pokemon in the game, and also one of the hardest carries in the game right now. So okay, moving on next. Attacker. What is the attacker that's going to take the limelight from us? What is the attacker that's going to hard carry us, no matter what? Now, when I say attacker, I refer to the character that has to go into the bottom lane of the map with a tank. So, I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, probably Inteleon. That probably does a really good job. I actually think that if you're going to invest all your time and you really badly want to carry a solo queue game, that one of the best attackers to play right now is Glaceon. I don't know if you guys have seen this a lot, but I've seen Glaceons absolutely shredding teams, like high effectiveness, good DPS, hard to catch, rips Rayquaza, rips tanks. It's just a really good character all around, and overall pieces together the theme of the team. More often than not, if a team has Glaceon, it's going to be a stronger team for it. And I think in the attacker role in solo queue, Glaceon really excels as being one of these characters that pushes the team over the line. Its ability to just basically nuke characters from 100 to 0 with little aiming, little interaction. Both builds are fun, but I think Icicle Spears and Ice Shard, I don't know, what is it? I forgot the other move, whoops. But you know what I mean, it's attacking the buff move. That's the best move set for Glaceon right now. It's just so overpowered. Constant damage, good range threat, very fast attack speed, helps out with ripping, helps out with a little bit with securing, and overall, very hard to catch. Let's go into a little bit about how it plays. So you grab your Glaceon, you run to the bottom. You nearly always want to go for this. Depending on whether you get this, you can either go back for your minions. So let me clean it up a bit. You go back for our minions, or you go forward and try to either score or get their other minion. Same thing as top lane at 9:15, the Odina spawns. So remember that, 9:15 Odina spawn. You want to make sure you're there. And what your idea is to secure this and run back safely because the jungler might be looking for a gank. Same thing happens to top lane. So remember, keep your eyes out, ping it when you see it, and then go back, finish this minion, and return to 850Bs. Now, of course, Glaceon, it really gets its big power spikes at level 4, level 6. That's very good. You're very happy at those 2 levels, but you're actually also really happy at level 8 and level 9. you get a lot of damage, and you get extra crit chance and cooldown reduction level 9. So a big thing that you want to do in Glaceon is really being able to get these stacks up for your icicle spears. Make sure you're autoing, make sure you're holding your space. Hold your stacks, and when you see an eligible target, just let it go and run backwards. You don't need to run forwards, you don't need to pressure or kill, just run backwards, it's okay. And the enemy is going to feel the pressure from that, and they're going to get chunked out constantly, even when they have big healing teams. It's pretty simple, it's the same thing at Rayquaza. You can hit the Rayquaza a bit, and then you can flank down, you can flank up, you can continue hitting from this side. This is all hittable area. And then also, if you go into a team fight, you definitely want to fight around this area because you get a lot more space to maneuver in this box. As you can see, I put Glaceon in. It's a lot of maneuverability, and you're going to be able to shoot your spears right into here with no problem. Alright guys, that's exactly how you should tackle Glaceon. Now, when we move on to the defender, this is a role that's really hard to carry with, I'll be honest. Like, you do a lot for setting up the team, but if you had no team, it would be very problematic. And this is for that reason. Like, normally I would suggest Blastoise, but when I look at it a bit deeper, when I think about it a bit more, I actually think that Lapras is probably my favorite choice here. I love these two characters, Lapras and Blastoise. I think they're so powerful. But yeah, Lapras, the ability to move around the map and influence so many lanes at once makes it probably in its class of its own. It's probably one of the best Pokemon in the game in that sense. It fulfills this roaming, big sea thing that, wants to be in its design. And it fulfills it to a level which makes you really question, is it possible to beat this thing when a tactician is handling the character? And it should feel like that. I think when you're running ranked solo queue, you can run Water Pulse. That's still really good. You can also run Perish Song and Ice Beam. I don't think you should run Bubble Beam. I think Ice Beam is nearly always better. Perish Song is pretty good still. Even if it got nerfed, it still does a lot of damage, and it bursts those annoying squishies that are one-shotting your whole team. That's the main idea and goal behind Lapras. You're driving into teams, and you're making sure to do a huge amount of impact with his chain stuns and the annoyingness and the unwilling to kill. They can't kill you. All right, so let's just go for a little bit of the gameplay. So the bottom defender means you're playing the bot side. The same thing here. You want to use your Ice Rocks at the start of the game. I don't know what it's called anymore. You want to use your Ice Rocks to disrupt the enemy's secure because you don't have the best security of your own. Then you want to go and either, if you're really confident, you can play up for these two. But if you're not, you can either go for the score or you can go back with your teammates. I would recommend go back with your teammates. I think that's a safer play. You're going to be more often safer than not by doing this. And more importantly, you're going to open up the play for your attacker. Now, of course, at level 5, you get Perish or your other move, and that's really good. This move, level 5 and level 7 are really huge spikes, and then of course level 9. Because when you hit level 9, that's of course a Unite move, you get to run into people, it's really fun, high impact gameplay, and you're going to be able to make a big impact on the map. Make sure when using Unite moves that you remember to follow my ganking guide. And, go sneak around, go into the jungle, invade, put pressure on the enemy team. Don't let them just survive because you have Unite move, you should be using it more often than not. The Unite move cooldown is so short that you can afford to do that. And with a quick, take a farm or two, a Bolter here and there, and you'll be up in experience in no time. So yeah, this Pokemon is pretty much autoplay. Rayquaza, it's pretty simple. Wait for your team to be positioned, see if you can find a straggler, and then just ult onto them and cause some drama. It's going to cause a big team fight, and more often than not, your team's going to get a person up and the Lapras healthy. So, really good. Alrighty. So now that we have Lapras, for the central area, what is my number 1 solo carry pick? Oof, this is always going to be an interesting one because there's so many good central area picks right now. And I think a lot of them come down to the idea that central area does get ahead of experience, does get a lot of advantage in pushing the game event state and really doing whatever it wants. And of course, that means it just has to be Zoroark again. I would love to make a video not talking about Zoroark and Blastoise, but it's Timmy's fault, guys. These Pokemon are so obscenely overpowered. They have a complete control of the game at nearly all the points, and it's really annoying. But, okay, moving about Zoroark, level 5, right out of the jungle. You take Night Slash, you take Feint Attack. Both moves are great. Both moves allow you infinite mobility. They put a lot of pressure on the enemy team, and it's going to make it very easy for you to actually go and influence the game. You're going to go from that, and you're going to take Shadow Claw or Cut. Cut if you're in Night Slash, and Shadow Claw on Feint Attack. And you just are so powerful Like, I'm telling you guys, it's almost impossible to shut down a Zoroark that is ahead and knows how to play. It is a high skill cap. I understand that. It is harder to play. But if you want to carry a solo queue game and you don't know who's on your team and you don't know who's going to be there, don't look away from Zoroark. Zoroark is probably the sole king at doing this. There are other honorable mentions, as in Doger, as in Cypher. Absol's even like up there with my opinion, like that can be really good to carry with. Even Talonflame. But at the end of the day, I have to give it to Zoroark because if you are the best Zoroark, it doesn't matter if you're the best Doger. The best Zoroark will win. And I guess we saw it at Worlds, right? Like, the best Zoroark did win. And it's just part of this idea that Zoroark is just such a dominant character in the beginning of the game. Such a powerful stomper that sets its impact on the map before the other team really gets set up. And then after that, it really just takes advantage of the fact that its Unite move, it's like more of a topper on the cake. Its main bread and butter is that first move, Feint Attack or Night Slash. And that really just encapsulates the whole idea of Zoroark. So dominant. So, yeah, okay, let's just go move Zoroark through the map. Take your Xatu, go to your blue or red, and then, proceed to do C clear. The C clear will lead you in one of the lanes. Whatever lane you go into, you can wait. I would say more often than not, unless they're pushing the lane with no escapes, wait. Because if you go and push onto their pad and the enemy catches you with they're coming from the jungle late, you will end up dying and it'll be really bad. Don't want to die in the lanes. Stop dying in the lanes. So yeah, you wait, you're chilling, the bees spawn, wipe the bees. If the enemies are overextended or like in this area and they're low health, you should go for them because you're so strong and you can go and push the pad and get some scores. You want to get your scores because you're running attack way more often than not. So you really want to get scores. But if you don't get scores, that's okay. Go back to your jungle, clear, meet up bees. This is where if you haven't gotten a kill already, you're going to guarantee get a kill. Enemy jungle is going to probably walk through here. You're going to run in and just kill them. Pretty much sets your whole game plan. I've done a lot of videos talking about how Zoroark plays and whatnot, but more often than not, you want to hide in a bush like this, or even like up here or here at Rayquaza, and then just come in and flank the enemy team and create some impact that way. That's pretty simple. I think that's just how easy to play Zoroark, right? It's a lot more complex when you go down the nitty-gritty, but we have more videos talking about that, and I don't want to waste too much of your time. All right, good. Now, we move to the final one. What is a solo queue carry support? Now, of course, this is always the hardest one. I've had so many suggestions. People said Eldegoss. People said Blissey. People said Clefable. People said Hoopa. People also said no Hoopa. So when it comes down to it, what Pokemon do I want to play if I have to carry a solo queue game? And it's always just going to be Hoopa, guys. I'm telling you. Like, this Pokemon is actually absurd. You need to learn how to play it properly if you're not, able to carry. It is actually a carry in itself. You just need to play it a little bit better. And I know it's annoying. Your team doesn't go into portals. I know it's frustrating. They don't listen. They don't go where you want. They don't help at all. But the character itself is so overtuned. With the amount of damage you deal, with the consistent DPS, with the ability to actually send, if they look at the portals on the map, I know it's amazing, right? If they can look with their eyes. But if they do look with their eyes, it is so powerful. And it is one of the best tempo setters in the game. You can drag the enemy team up in here. You can drag them, you can have Unite move, but instead of uniting, let's be smarter, let's go back down and then unite everyone down here, and we take the bottom tower and exchange for top, which is a valuable trade if you watched other videos. You can do so many things with the map. You can construct permanent defenses. You can constantly, just sit around these bushes and just hold pads infinitely if your team have eyes. Of course, there's a lot of team ifs and whatever, but at the end of the day, when you look at Hoopa, okay, we're just going to quickly go into how a game plays. We're going to run on top. You're going to fight for this minion, and then you're going to want to defend any scores no matter what you're doing. The reason why I don't suggest you to run with your laner is because if they're trying to stack, that's great and all. Denying the other player it's more important than your experience. I'm sorry, Hoopa players, but your experience doesn't matter when it comes to denying the enemy carry. You are effectively sacrificing a support's experience for the enemy's shorter early game, right? So if you go and get your experience and they get their shorter early game, well, they have a chance to carry the game. Instead, if you auto-attack them the whole time, steal all the farm, and make their life a misery, they're not going to want to play Pokemon Unite anymore. And it's very possible to do that, guys. Very possible. So remember, be lateral. Don't always think, oh, okay, well, I need to go and get my experience. No. You are shutting down someone else. But if they're not going to score, if your team has pushed them both, go up with them and walk around with your carry. Don't walk away from them, walk with them. Okay, now looking at that, okay, basically it's all the same. Clear minions, go to this back farm. At 850, you want to be at the bees, or the birds, I should say. At 850, you're at there. You can throw a portal in it 1 second before, and then your team will teleport out if they're like gonna get one shot, because they often do. Like, you know, top laners and junglers are so silly. They run in here and they get one shot. They're so silly. Now, if the goofy boys get one shot, that's okay. You can portal down before as well, and you can go to the bot lane instead. Lots of plays, lots of options. The gameplays on Hoopa is insane. Your Unite move is so much value. So let's talk a little bit about Ray. So you get to the last fight of the game. What do you want to do? You want to make sure you're standing in a safe but groupable position. In the top side is not a groupable position. I'm sorry, Hoopa players. More often than not, it's going to be trolling to be there. Be at the bottom side. Don't be in this corridor. The amount of ultis I've taken in this corridor or here or here. Okay, don't Hoopa ulti here unless it's a perfect Hoopa ulti. Don't Hoopa ulti here unless it's a perfect Hoopa ulti. Try to Hoopa ulti like around here, you know, so they can like peer in. Don't Hoopa ulti in this choke, please. You're going to get the whole team 5-man ulted. Hoopa ulti to this side. Hoopa ulti over here. Hoopa ulti maybe even at the middle, but it's a bit risky. But you sort of see it like, if you want to drag people, you need to ult safely. If you're doing it for damage, you know, just use it. I would say if you're doing it for damage, just using the top of the pit. That's a decent place. You know, you can jump there and then top of the pit ulti and then you're dancing, right? All right. That's my like ultimate suggestions, like the quickest advice I can give you on the top 5 solo queue carries in the game. You have one for every role now, so no matter what you need to fill in for the team, you've got a good idea. You've got a good idea how to play the early game. You're going to do great in your next game. Now, of course, let me know how you go in your next game. Let me know if the tips helped you. Now, of course, please like, comment, and sub to my channel. I really appreciate it. We've been doing so well recently, and I really appreciate all the love. I hope you guys keep coming back for the content. I'm going to keep trying to push it out. All right. Lots of love, guys, and have a wonderful day. Bye. I'll see you in the next video.